Hello YouTube, Naked Trevor here with a review for Acolyte Episode 1 and 2. Now, I've been checked out from Disney Star Wars since the Book of Boba Fett. It's been just dog shit. That sequel movie trilogy was terrible. I mean, it was terrible from The Force Awakens right up until The Rise of Skywalker, every bit, not just The Last Jedi. The Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, they're all right. One better than 2, but everything else has just been god awful, and I'm checked out entirely. So this coming up, it being that it's not related to the rest of it in terms of it not really being part of the Skywalker saga, and it's 100 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. So I was thinking maybe. I've heard nothing but terrible stuff about the High Republic comic books and books, but I was thinking maybe this could be interesting. Maybe they could do something good. I was wrong. It's terrible. So here, let's get right into it. Girl, our main character girl, or at least one of them. We'll get into more of that in a moment. She's going to a cantina in a very, how do I put this? The sets, they look very fresh. They are supposed to be weathered and lived in. Every place is run down, but it looks like they just built it. And I don't know, maybe it's just me being overly critical towards it, because it does look great as far as the prosthetics and aliens. I think those parts look good, but the overall presentation just seems very it's like they're filming on the set of Disney on Disney World in Batuu, Anyway, so she goes into a cantina to confront Jedi Master Trinity, and the way that she confronts her is pretty funny, I thought, because her first words to her is, "We have unfinished business," which makes me think of Scott Pilgrim. That's not a good reference. That's hilarious, So, attack me with all your strength. The Jedi Trinity, Master Trinity says, "The Jedi don't attack the unarmed." She responds with, "Yes, you do." Which, I don't know. Why wouldn't they attack someone who's unarmed attacking them? We'll get more into that in a moment when the fight goes on, though. Fight's stupid. She's taking out all the dudes around her sitting at this cantina table. But, hey, that's all right. The girl has the Force, all right? But here's the thing. She declares more than once that she's trying to kill Jedi Master Trinity, that she's there to kill her, right? And she's showing that she will do it. Why in the world she doesn't defend herself, for her own life? So as the fight goes on, the whole fight, she's just blocking and moving out of the way of her attacks and not really trying to stop her from killing her, right? So you find out that she recognizes her, and she's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" So the audience, "Oh, what's this mystery? What are you talking about?" Does now that I've watched the episodes, I'm looking back at that scene. Does she think that she's Osha or May? And it's ambiguous. I don't know. Anyway, the girl, May, uses the barkeep who's there to basically trick the Jedi Master Trinity into her own death. She throws a dagger at the man. Trinity stops the dagger, and she throws a dagger and hits Trinity right in the chest, which, again, like I said, the girl is there to kill you. Put it into it. You have a lightsaber, you have the Force. They show that they have the ability to leap across the screen, and I like this depiction where you're using the Force to move yourself around, catch people from falling, catch yourself from falling, move yourself faster. That's, yeah, okay, cool. But put it into the fight. You're clearly outmatching this girl. You basically let her kill you, right? I don't understand it. So Jedi Master Trinity is dead in the first 5 minutes of the show. If you were looking forward to seeing her, spoilers, she's dead. we get introduced next in the next scene to what looks to be the same person, but obviously not. This character's name is Osha. She's basically an astromech droid. she does the job of astromech droids, which they never really explain why she does that job instead of an astromech droid, other than with a couple of platitudes and jokes where she's like, "I'm better company than an astromech droid," which I don't know. She has this all-encompassing pip droid that is able to fix anything contextually magical bullshit device, which I just don't understand. But that's it. Whatever. Star Wars is fantasy, right? So we'll just move past it. Not really sci-fi. After a moment of seeing her do her astromech droid job, we see the Jedi come, and they're there to arrest her, right? They have evidence that she is the killer. Jordan, his Padawan with these big prosthetic ears, basically sit down and give us, the audience, and the main character, her own backstory. Tell it right back to her, which is just so... I'd rather see what happened, but hey, whatever, fine. Let's just have them tell us it, okay? It's just terrible. They arrest her, even though she has an alibi, and she physically could not have defeated this Jedi Master, right? The show is doing its very best to to make the audience dislike and distrust the Jedi. After they arrest her, there's a prison transport scene, which I didn't hate. It was okay. It was kind of funny. But at the very same time, prison transport scene ends with her crashing on a planet. And if anyone who's been in a car accident knows, safe, seatbelts will help, but like holding on tight is not going to do anything. And to have such a a bad crash like they depict, right? The fact that she comes out unscathed is ridiculous, right? But anyway, we get back at Coruscant, which is interesting to see Coruscant. I mean, I guess, it's been a while. It doesn't really look the same. Obviously, it's 100 years earlier, but I mean, in terms of, it looks flat, bland, brown. I don't know. Maybe it's just their style that they're going for, but in my memory, the scenes from Coruscant from episode 2 were very bright and colorful, neon. I don't know. Anyway, we get introduced to this green skinned woman who's just putting on a performance for the camera, looking directly into the camera in her introduction, which is very cringe. Opening the door with the Force also, which makes me wonder, like, I guess in the Jedi Temple, like, you're a Jedi, you have to use the Force to open the doors. They don't just open, but it's cool. Remember that? Anyway, she comes in. We're introduced to Master Soul, which I like the actor, the character, the performance. I like him. It's good. But we get this exchange, which is strange. We find out these events from each other. The Master Indara being murdered. The fact that Osha was the one who's been fingered as the culprit, and then also that she's crash landed on this planet. He asks if he can go, address the situation since he has a history and he wants to redeem himself, Okay? And I don't hate any of this. I like that kind of characterization, wants to, seeking redemption, right? So, but in the same scene, they talk about how this needs to be quickly covered up and that the Jedi have political enemies, which, what? Okay, I don't know. I don't understand what they're going for with the Jedi. Like, they clearly don't want you to like the Jedi Order. They're depicted to be some kind of police when I always thought they were like a religion of more sorts. The Jedi Knights were like the crusading knights of the Round Table type stuff, but I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Jedi have political enemies. They don't elaborate. Like who, what are you talking about? Why? Who could that be? I guess maybe we'll find out later. I doubt it. In the prison transport scene, there was a moment in which the girl, Osha, gets some good characterization. She saves a man who then immediately betrays her. And then, we find that it's all just for another scene where Soul interrogates him and finds out what happens, right? But again, it shows that she's trying to, preserve life. I mean, that's a good quality, She didn't want that man to die in there. We see that they're gathering a team. Master Soul, his Padawan, his new Padawan, this girl with the horns. I like her. Again, there's a few things I do like in the show. That her Soul and her are, I didn't dislike it. But then Jord, or Yord, I don't know. I keep missing it. Again, they're doing their best to show him as like this really uptight. They have him pressing his Jedi robes. Why they needed him to be shirtless to show that, I don't understand. Didn't need to be shirtless, but again, they're driving home this characterization, and I don't dislike that. I mean, at least they're trying, right? So after Osha, after she crashes, she dreams of her sister, and here the show just forgets about having a mystery for the audience. They immediately reveal that her sister is alive. They tell her that, through this dream, that she is the one that has killed Master Indara. And what the hell? I mean, why not leave that a mystery? I think this is where the show immediately went wrong. If they would have continued to show you both characters, one committing these crimes and the other one, don't have her be caught up in the Jedi right away, make it so it's a little bit more ambiguous and have it a mystery so the Jedi are trying to figure out this, and leave it a mystery for the audience as well. But no, right away we find out that her sister is still alive, and in another exposition scene, we find out from Soul and his apprentice that the twin sister is the one who lit the fire, who killed Osha's whole family. So right away, I mean, the girl, if that's true, the girl is evil, I guess, from the beginning, and that she is the one who murdered. So Osha, obviously she wants a vengeance, wants vengeance as well, revenge. Anyway, Soul had declared before that May was dead. I saw her die. Right? Like, it literally what he said. Like, I saw her die. In that scene where he tells her, his apprentice, that there was a fire that she started, she died in the fire, right? We'll come back to that in a moment. Stupid fugitive scene. It's literally the scene out of The Fugitive. Osha, she runs through this winter snowy tunnel, and she gets to the end. And I don't understand why she would run to the end and just stand at the ledge. I mean, did she want to die? I don't understand. It's silly. But Soul saves her with the Force and pulls her back. I mean, okay, fine. The episode ends with May, the twin sister, the evil one, going to her master, who's standing on a cliffside with his back turned, explaining the situation, right? She goes to him, and then he has these few lines of dialogue, and I'd like to quote it here. The Jedi live in a dream they believe everyone shares. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. Steel or laser are no threat to them, but an Acolyte kills without a weapon. An Acolyte kills a dream. Yeah, again, they're doing their best to get the audience to dislike the Jedi, right? Anyway, episode 2. I just wanted to quote that because it just seems silly. And I don't understand, if you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. Like, well, if you attack him without a weapon, you'll win? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Anyway, episode 2. We got May breaking into a Jedi temple for her next victim, Jedi Master Torben, meditating using a impenetrable force bubble, which I don't understand. They say he hasn't spoken to anyone in 12 years or something. So this man has just lived in a force bubble for 12 years? I just don't get it. So, like, when she tries to hit him and stab him, and she can't get through it. She's bouncing off of it and stuff. It's dumb. So then we get some more exposition with Saul talking to our green-skinned woman. Last episode, he talked about he saw May die, right? Well, no. In this one, he says to her, 16 years ago, she was presumed dead. Well, I think there's kind of a big difference between seeing someone die and presuming they are dead. I don't know. One episode to the next. Whatever. Anyway, here we go. May goes to see this Asian Ezra Miller. I don't ever get his name. I don't know. But anyway, she goes to see him. He's clearly a bad guy. He's squatting in the local apothecary, and impersonating the owner, basically, wearing his clothes and stuff, drinking his booze, waiting for her. He knows her whole situation of trying to murder the Jedis and stuff. He's one of her accomplices, along with their master. Again, we don't really know much more than what I just told you. That's it. All right? But he knows that she's trying to kill her 4 Jedi, and she's running out of Jedi. The dialogue is super cringe. Super cringe. Anyway, she goes there trying to get him to make a poison. In this scene, he does. And he then, while he's making the poison, has this quote, which again, I want to directly quote because it's just fucking silly. The Jedi justified their galactic dominance in the name of peace, but peace is a lie. Gosh, whatever. It's just ridiculous. Like, there is good and evil in the world, but this show is going to do their best to make the audience not, no, there's gray area and you got to hate the Jedi. We're not going to explain what they've done or why. And I just, anyway, let's keep going. It's terrible. They go to planet Olga to investigate an attack from May at the temple. May actually gets the poison, goes back to the temple. She goes to confront Torben because they change their tune. The Jedi. I'm skipping a part because it's dumb. When the Green Lady and Soul talk, they change their course. Instead of going back to Coruscant, they're gonna go confront her and then try to stop her from killing Master Torben on this planet because she just attacked it the night before. Clearly, Osha is innocent because she was with them when the attack happened, right? So now they're going there. They're gonna put a stop to her. May, she has the poison. She goes to Torben, and she basically talks to him through the bubble. So attacking him and all that, none of that worked. But speaking to him, he heard her, and he comes out of his bubble. So, and then he just decides that he'll take the poison. So, in the previous scene in which she attacked him, he could have came out of his bubble and let her murder him. All the same, right? I mean, I don't know if that was what he wanted to do, but now, because she's there to poison him. He willingly takes the poison. I don't know. It's just silly. So then the Jedi, they come to the temple where Torben is at the very same moment in which May's there poisoning Torben. They talk with the Jedi people that are there, and the Jedi people are there tell him, okay, we're going to take you to Torben. Oh, Master Torben hasn't spoken. This is when we find out he hasn't spoken to anybody in 12 years. How the guy has been living, eating, breathing 12 years in a bubble. I don't understand. Whatever. It's dumb. He's like, oh, but he will talk to me. So they go to see him, right? So during the walk, right? Like I said, in that scene, he willingly takes the poison. So, like, why now and not before? Why is he ready to die now? Like, was it just her speech? Is it because she attacked him violently? I just don't get it. I don't know what they're going for. Osha and the Jedi are being led to Torben. Osha falls behind and breaks away. Now, this is exactly what happens in the scene. They're walking along. Osha breaks off and goes down another corner because she sees a vision of May as a child, right? So she follows her. Yord follows after her, right? Somehow, she makes it into the room before the other Jedis who live and work at the temple, right? And Sol. And Yord, he waits in the rafters while she goes down to investigate the poison and sniff it and stuff. And all for this stupid scene where they come in with the lightsabers drawn, accusing her of being the murderer and stuff. It's stupid. How didn't she beat them to the room? Like, how did Yord not... Like... Why is he just waiting behind to see what she does? Like, why doesn't he tell her, like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Like, he thought that she was a prisoner. He's just going to let her sneak off and then follow her to see what she does? Anyway. By the way, Torben's makeup looks terrible. My Jedi Master Torben is clearly a young guy with a fake beard on, the makeup that makes his eye look messed up and stuff, but like fake bald cap to make him look old. Clearly we're going to get a scene where he was younger. Probably get a flashback scene. It just looked terrible. It was terrible. Anyway, I don't understand how they have good makeup in some scenes, good prosthetics in some. Like that girl with the big ears, she looked good. Like a lot of these monsters in that cantina fight, they look good and convincing. That guy with the big tongue in the prison break scene, a lot of the scenes look good, except for the clunky droid. Like, okay, I get it. C-3PO always looked clunky and stuff, but like they hinged his joints. This guy, you can clearly see that it's just like cloth underneath, and he's wearing like plated plastic. It looks so stupid. It doesn't look robotic at all. Like C-3PO at least had robotic movement to him. Like, I don't know. They look terrible. Goofy as hell. Anyway, Torben makeup terrible. They decide... They find out that the poison is, had to have been made locally. They go to the local apothecary. They find out that, it's being squatted on by Asian Ezra Miller. And I don't know what his name is. They never say it, I don't think. I don't know, right? So anyway, they find him there, and the plan... It's very silly. So the plan is, first, Yord says, "Hey, I'll set up a perimeter. We'll catch this guy and we'll confront him and we'll interrogate him." Right? Which that's a good plan, I thought. But no, since the girl, the Jedi apprentice, the young girl, has a better plan, right? And her plan is to send in Osha, who looks like May, to go talk to the guy, right? But we see in the previous scene, the audience. We know this isn't going to work because the way the two interacted in the previous scene. Yet, for some reason, it does work, right? So it's very silly because he knows it's her. And then in the scene, he shows that he knows it's her. So it could be more to this guy that he's like some manipulator or something. I don't know. Something more than he is, right? But he spills all the beans to her. Like, just tells her everything, tells her that her sister is trying to, made the poison, killed the guy, trying to kill these Jedi, blah, blah, blah. And then says, "Oh, I'm holding some of her stuff. We'll set up a trap for her." And they do just that. And then there's, the ambush, the fight scene at the end of the episode where Saul confronts May, and Soul doesn't want Osha to confront her because Osha, obviously she's messed up about it because she may kill her whole family. I mean, she burnt down, whatever. We don't know, right? So there's a fight scene between the two of them. I didn't hate it, but again, at the same time, it always seems like these Jedi Masters could put an end to the fight at any moment, but they don't. And if they end up dying from it, it just seems stupid because, like, the whole time they're just fighting defensively when they should just end it. If she's trying to kill you, you should defend yourself to that extent, to the same extent, But anyway, the girl fights, the ship comes in and tells her, well, you're under arrest, but then she does like a forced push on the ground and makes a big cloud of smoke, and she hightails it out of there. And then Osha, of course Osha, catches up to her and confronts her. But I don't think, because like, in the scene prior, Soul tells her, hey, Osha's alive, right? So it's like a reveal that they both reveal to each other that they're each alive, right? They see each other for the first time. But when she has the stun gun pointed at her, it's clear that she doesn't want to pull the trigger, and clearly that she doesn't aim straight. She aims to the side and lets her go, right? So she misses on purpose. Then we get a scene between Ezra Miller and her where she attacks him and he defends her off. Now, she's killed a Jedi Master. Now, clearly she was outmatched and she tricked the Jedi Master in the first episode. She didn't really, outmatch her. She didn't defeat her in that sense. But the fact that this guy, basically defended himself from her and stopped him, she was trying to kill him. Again, either he's more than what he is, which is making it obvious, or, he's the actual master, or it's hilariously bad, which is far more likely, and that she's just, they're not understanding that when you show this kind of stuff that you're making it seem like this dude could just take her out. Like, he could have stopped her, and which he did. He stopped her. And so how is she any match for a Jedi Master when this guy who isn't a Jedi can stop her? Like, what is happening? I don't get it. Anyway, we cut to a forest, a Wookiee, which okay, I will forgive the old movies, the episodes 4, 5, and 6, Chewie. They don't really have him do a whole lot. It's just a guy in a suit, right? But, when you have a creature who's supposed to be big and strong, have them move faster than they should, it looks goofy. It looks hilarious. So you have this Wookiee who's supposed to be this big, imposing Bigfoot, and, just anytime they move too quickly, it just looks funny. It looks goofy to me. I don't know. They should be not moving in slow motion, but if they are this big, strong creature, their movements shouldn't be as fast as. Then again, maybe he's a Jedi, and that explains it, right? I don't know. Whatever. It just looked goofy to me, but they show that he's hiding out on this planet, and that's where Ezra Miller will be taking our May, our bad girl, to kill this Wookiee, right? This all seems like it's happening in the first few episodes. Like, the first 2 episodes, a lot of what I thought the whole show was going to be about. I thought that they were going to wait for that reveal, which, of course, the reveal of the May being alive. Of course they didn't. It's so stupid. They give it away right away. Like, they tell you right away. Don't leave it. Don't make it a mystery, yet make it a mystery for the characters. It's boring. It makes it boring. That's what it does. And when you tell the audience, and that can work in some instances, but this one, I just found it boring. It was just boring. I think that's the show's biggest offense, is that it's just dull and predictable. So far, haven't been beat over the head with any of their nonsense, but I mean, it's And it's kind of there with, you know, him taking the girl, the Padawan's harebrained scheme over Jord's. Whatever, though. I mean, and like the main character, Osha and May, the actress who's playing these characters, she's good to look at. I think she's attractive. And anytime I see her talking or hear her talking outside of the show, though, she's putting her foot in her mouth. I mean, that's what all of these actors do, though. That's what they do. You know, not worth listening to. But like in the show, that helps my personal enjoyment of the show because she's nice to look at. You know, it keeps me watching in a sense. You know, and I think she's doing a fine job. Not terrible in the part. I mean, for what it is. You know, so there's that. There's a little bit of positive I've given it. But yeah, sad, boring, and predictable. That's about it. Sorry I had to talk about it for so long. I got just a ton of notes. I wanted to go over the things that worked and what didn't, I guess, you know. I've heard that the next few episodes are going to be just terrible in terms of lore assassination and, again, making you just want to dislike the Jedi, which I don't get why you'd want to do that. And this kind of like gray area morality stuff, just no good and evil, only power. I've seen that in the trailer. Oh gosh, that's just so far away removed from what George Lucas's Star Wars was. I mean, he's said it himself recently that these people don't know what they're doing with the Force and how it works. So yeah, I'll be making videos on it and talking about it because I used to love Star Wars. Now it's just funny. It's just funny to, you know, it's like a train wreck. Can't look away. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye bye.